Hello, welcome to SharonBeMakinStuff. So I am super stoked for the holiday season this year. I got my Christmas tree up, I'm starting to bake Christmas treats already, and it's what, November? I know, I'm early for one, so let's go ahead and get started with our gingerbread cupcake batter. So for the batter, you're going to need half a cup of softened butter at room temperature, half a cup of packed brown sugar, half a cup of molasses, either light, dark, fancy, or cooking. Careful with the black strap though. You're also going to need 1 large egg, half a cup of milk, 1 1/3 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of baking soda, half a teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and moving on to the spices, you're going to need 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, and lastly 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. So in a large bowl using an electric mixer, you're going to beat the softened butter and the brown sugar together until it is nice and creamy. Next, you're going to add in the egg, beat that in there, and make sure that you're occasionally scraping down the bowl to make sure everything is being well combined. Next, you're going to add in the milk, the vanilla extract, and the molasses. And the reason why mine is so dark is because I'm using blackstrap molasses. And if that's the only kind that you have, and that's your case, like it was for me, then I would recommend adding a mixture of corn syrup and maple syrup to your blackstrap to still equate half a cup, but at the same time toning down that flavor and adding some of that sweetness back. But if you're not using blackstrap, don't worry about this fuss. So just mix all those ingredients together, and I know it might look really goopy right now and everything's separating, but that is perfectly fine. So to prep our dry mixture, just add in the leavening agents, the salt, and all the spices into the flour and give it a thorough mix with a spoon or a whisk. Now we're going to add all the dry ingredients into the wet, a little bit at a time while mixing it and making sure that you're scraping down the sides of the bowl. Once all the flour is well incorporated and you don't see any more white spots, then your batter is ready to be baked. So now you can go ahead and line your muffin tray with 12 cupcake liners. I'm using these really cute gingerbread men ones today. I thought it was pretty fitting for the occasion. So go ahead and line up that tray, and after that you can start spooning in the batter. And just make sure that you're only filling it up 2/3 of the way full. Any less, it won't look nice. Any more, it won't look nice. So 2/3, got it? So once you are done that, go ahead and pop that in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 18 minutes, or when a toothpick inserted comes out dry, meaning that none of the batter gets stuck to the toothpick. So while the cupcakes are baking, we can move on to the cinnamon cream cheese frosting. So for this, you're going to need 1 cup of icing sugar, half a brick of cream cheese, which is equivalent to 4 ounces, 1/4 cup of butter, 1 teaspoon of milk, and half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So in a large bowl, you're going to begin by beating the cream cheese and the butter together until it is nice and creamy. Next, you're going to add in all that powdered sugar and continue beating it on medium speed. And don't forget to scrape down the sides of the bowl as you go. So now you can go ahead and add in the milk and the vanilla extract and continue beating that until everything is nice and smooth and creamy and delicious looking. If you're finding that your frosting is too thin or too runny, then go ahead and add a little bit more icing sugar. However, if you find that it's a little too thick, then you can add a little bit more milk. But make sure that you are doing it in very small increments, otherwise it'll just be a constant process of going back and forth until you end up with icing that is way too sweet. So just make sure that you do it a little bit at a time. And for the finishing touch of the frosting, go ahead and add a few dashes of cinnamon depending on how cinnamony you want it to be. So just give that frosting one final mix and you are good to go. So now I'm just transferring over my frosting into a piping bag fitted with a star tip and folded over a cup. And I'm just going to pop it in the fridge for about 15 minutes to stiffen it up before piping it onto our cooled cupcakes. So this is what my cupcakes look like straight out of the oven. I know they look so yum. I had to remind you guys like 11 times just in case you missed it. So just transfer that over to a wire cooling rack. Let them completely cool for about 15 to 20 minutes before you pipe frosting on them. So moving on to decorations, I use these Christmas themed nonpareils. What are they called? I don't know how to pronounce them, but they're like the little ball sprinkles. And then for the little gingerbread men, these are just icing decorations by the brand Wilton, and they're just little gingerbread men made out of sugar. So to frost the cupcakes, you're going to start at an edge, apply even pressure all the way around while overlapping the icing, and then quickly pull up and away. Finish it off with some sprinkles and a little gingerbread man, and that is pretty much it. So there you have it, friends, gingerbread cupcakes. And let me tell you guys, these cupcakes, the cake itself is actually so moist, and you can taste all the spices in them, and it's so delicious. But that cream cheese dough on top, that's the real kicker right there. And I really hope you guys try out this recipe. If you do, please snap me a photo on Twitter, on Instagram, because I would love to see it, and hopefully feature you guys on my Facebook album where I have all your guys' creations. Yes, that's a thing, and it's totally amazing, and I want you guys to be in it. So that is it. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, then please give it a big thumbs up, and if you haven't already, then don't forget to subscribe to SharonBeMakinStuff, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Hopefully it's going to be another Christmas video. Probably, most likely, I think so. Yeah. Okay, bye-bye!